Hello everyone, Abigail's here for another podcast episode. I'm sorry it's kind of like a glare, but I'm sorry. Let's just start with the verse of the day. So I'm gonna do Jeremiah 11 through 13. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. In those days when you pray, I will listen. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. So that's the verse of the day, which I just love that because it's like, not only is it just like a hope because God will help us through everything in the future and that He's just like with us through it all, but also it's just like verse 12 kind of just shows the importance of prayer, and verse 13 shows that like if we search for God, we will find Him. You know, like if we yeah. So let's do favorite things. Well, I mean, it was just raining, so that was really exciting. I love it when it rains. So, another like favorite thing was, well, I love, like, my second favorite animal are deer, which is kind of weird, but I love them so much, and I've been going on walks lately outside, and it would start raining, and it was awesome, but I saw some deer, and I saw one with, like, antlers, and it was so cool. I love them so much. And then also, I feel like school has been going, like, so it was, like, my first week of school, and it was, like, kind of good and kind of not good. Like, there was a lot of things I didn't, like, I don't know, it was just, like, a decent week, but I feel like I'm excited for it because I feel like now I have kind of I get like the idea of it, and I'm excited. I'm also like looking forward to like all the dances and stuff. But I'm like excited for that. Prayer requests, I honestly don't know if I have any. I don't know, honestly, but if you have prayer requests, you can comment down below. Ow. And like, favorite things, the usual. You can always comment down below. And yeah. So originally I was thinking that this podcast episode was going to be about like insecurity and stuff, which is something I really, really struggle with. And some days it's like I don't struggle with it at all, and other days it's like I struggle with it a lot. It like always, it's like very inconsistent, but it's like, I don't know why, but I'm always just so like insecure and afraid, like anxiety and like everything is just like, I don't know. I don't know, but I realized like I wanted to make a podcast episode on it, but I didn't really know what I'd say, and I also was kind of in a mood to just have like almost like a chat kind of episode, which I kind of started chatting a little bit last week, but I think I want to just like talk with y'all about some stuff just like for fun. Yeah. So this podcast episode might be a little bit different, but so first thing I want to talk about is, so I'm going back to school. I don't know if all of y'all are, but I am. And so I think my first week of school was last year. What? So I first want to talk about like school and stuff, because I don't know if all of y'all are in school, but I'm in school. Last week I started school again, and I was kind of scared and excited, and it's definitely different and stuff. I'm like in a new building and gibberish, but it's exciting, and I was kind of scared for it, and I don't have a lot of my friends in my classes, but I was kind of hoping to grow outside my comfort zone this year and just like do things even if I was like afraid, kind of thing. And I think that I'm gonna have some good opportunities to do that, and I'm just like really excited, and I've just been enjoying some things, and I've kind of, after this first week of school, I think I've navigated around most things, and I think I have a general idea of everything, and homework is kind of taking me a while, but I think I'll figure it out. I'm usually pretty fast with homework, but like I feel like when it comes to school, like for some reason when I go to school, I like shut down. It's like I don't like this is my default expression. Like, do you see how sad I look? Like, I feel like at school I just like shut down, and it's like so kind of annoying. Everyone always thinks I'm like quiet and stuff, which like I can sometimes be, but like at home I'm like so energetic, but at school it's like I'm not. And I love seeing people. Like I love being around people and I love talking to people. It's just like not at school. I don't know why. Like I could go up to some random person who works at some random store and I could go ask them a question. At school, kind of depends on the situation. I don't know. I feel like I've just kind of struggled with like talking to people. I also struggle with giving compliments, which is so weird, but I'm like I should do that more. I don't know. I've been hoping to kind of like be my true self more at school because I feel like no one really gets to see the real me at school. I'm just like this weird non-existent person sitting in the corner. I did like raise my hand in one of my classes, which is not that big of a deal, but for me it was a big deal and I was very happy with myself. I don't know why. I try not to be, I'm like very hard on myself about things. I try not to be too hard because I'm trying to like, it's just like the small things, like something, I might do something that's just like minuscule and no one even remembers it, but it's like, I feel so horrible or like I'm gonna like hate myself or something. And it's just like, I'm trying to be less hard on myself. So it's just like, you know, I feel like I've made good progress this week on being more myself, which is like unusual. So I'm glad. Even though to other people they're like, girl, what? But for me it's a pretty good accomplishment. But so I don't know if all of y'all are in school, but if you are in school, like how's it going? Have y'all like already started or something? I don't know if everyone has, but yeah, like are you excited about school? Not excited? Most people don't like school, but I love learning. Like over summer I'd get so bored and I'd just like try to like learn stuff and like take notes on random gibberish. Mostly it was things about like, oh, what was it? I don't know, but it was like, man, I don't know what it's called, but anywho, so you know what I've been meaning to do? Where is it? I put it somewhere. So I like to write books. And I used to write, I had like a medieval Christian kind of book. I don't know what happened to it. I just like haven't written it in a while. And then I had like a summer book I was writing. I don't have any inspiration for that either. And then I was writing a book with my brother, but he doesn't want to write in it. So it's just like I don't know if any of y'all are writers, but how in the world do y'all get your motivation? Because like for some reason I feel like every time I write, it's just like, it sounds so horrible. Like why isn't it good? I'm also very hard on myself. Like my friends are always like, you're such a good writer. And I'm like, hello, have you read my writing? But that's besides the point. What was I even talking about? Oh, I was just like hoping to write books more this year. I want to finish one of mine, like actually finish it, maybe get it published eventually. I don't know. Oh, also speaking of which, this has nothing to do with it, but battle cards. I literally have made no progress on these. I was hoping to like get like a half of these filled up and bring it to school, so if I had like an anxiety craziness, I could just be like, scripture, you know, because I like to write verses in here and stuff. But I literally only have 2 verses in here, and that's literally it. So I don't know. It's like, because I can't just write a verse randomly because I decided, oh, I'm gonna do it in color order. That's smart. So now I have to actually have the colors with me to be able to do it. I don't know. I mean, I want to do them, but I also like don't. Oh, I want to show y'all something. Hold on. Future me is editing right now, but I remembered another favorite thing. I don't know if I've shown y'all this shirt before, but I love it, and I'll show you why. Hold on. Can you read this? I don't know. Can you read this? Wait, no, you can't. Hold on. Oh, can you see that? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I've shown y'all this, but look how cute this is. At home in the love of God. It also smells so good. Like, I think my parents, they had 2 of them, so I asked for permission, obviously. But I'm obsessed with candles, and oh my gosh, I love it so much. I should light it right now. Hold on. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wait. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, wait. I need to move it without like, I'm in a giggly mood, which is so weird. I usually am, but okay, that's just gonna like sit there. Oh my goodness, wait, remember this guy? Hold on, let me find him. He's gonna sit next to my candle. Oh, he's gonna, yes, perfect. Okay, where was I at? I don't know. Oh, okay, this is such a weird thing, but for me lately, this like one phrase has been sticking with me more. It's go big or go home, which is like kind of a weird phrase that's been sticking with me, but I've been liking it because like, so lately I've been just kind of like struggling because like I get quickly bored and I get like really overwhelmed if I have too many choices. Like for example, let me show you. So I love hobbies and stuff, and I get overwhelmed when I have too many choices. And if you see, this whole sticky note is full of hobbies I love doing. And let's just say I like when I'm bored, I get very overwhelmed because I'm like, I don't know what to do. Well, that's because there's too many options for me to choose from, and I panic. But like basically, the whole go big or go home thing, it makes me think of like, for example, I love piano, or I've always like wanted to learn it, and it's like if I'm gonna do it, I might as well go big with it. I might as well try hard, put effort into it. So like I feel like this podcast, since I'm like young, I don't really know a lot of things, and I feel like it's not a very helpful podcast for y'all, but that's kind of why I wanted to have this chat, is just to kind of talk about some of my struggles, because maybe some of y'all just need to know that you're not alone in the struggles you're going through. But so for me, I struggle a lot with judgment. Like I'm super judgmental. Comparison. I guess I like compare, like especially last year I used to compare myself all the time. Insecurity. I like self-hatred. Like self-criticism, like anxiety, like all that kind of stuff. I really struggle with those, and it's really annoying. I also really have been struggling lately, like I love doing my Bible time, but for some reason lately, it hasn't felt like a chore, but I feel like it's felt like a situation where if I don't do it, I feel like I'm not doing enough, almost. Like, it's like, or it's like, I don't know, for some reason I'm always like, oh, like I feel like I'm not doing enough, or like, oh my goodness, I didn't do my Bible time. And it's like, I want to grow closer to God, and the only way I can do that is by getting in His Word, but I don't want it to feel like this pressure to do it just because I'm almost like a checkbox, almost just to like get it done with, so I can be like, it's alright, you did it now. It shouldn't be like that, because it's like reading the Bible, it's a gift, honestly. I mean, some people aren't even allowed to read it, so it's like really a gift, and I just wish I knew what to do, because there have been times where I would read the Bible and I could just like feel God's presence, and it was so amazing and so peaceful, and I had the best time ever. And there's other times where I just read the Bible and it's like, okay, now it's time to start my day, kind of thing. I don't really know what to do about that, honestly. And then I've been like struggling. I really struggle with like my screen time. Like sometimes I try not to be too hard to get on myself again, because I like literally will lose it. Like I'm like, okay, part of that screen time was you editing a video. That was productive, At the other part of me, I realized is, so I think last year I got YouTube, which is the only social media I have, and I do not like it. I mean, I do like it. Like, sometimes I love watching the videos on there, but the amount of times I've deleted the app because I've realized how much I've, like, idolized it sometimes is, like, so, like, bad. Like, I feel like, so one time I took a break from it, but it's really hard because I have 2 YouTube channels, and I might even make a third one day, so it's, like, and this is how I upload my videos, so it's, like, I can't delete it, so it's just like really hard, the temptation. I did like add some like block, like some things in it to help, but it's just like I remember like struggling with it a lot, my like YouTube addiction. But I feel like in that moment I also started looking for answers in YouTube, so it was like, it's so weird though, because I was like, if I had a question, if something was good or bad, like, or like if something, I don't know, like if I had something related to the Bible or something I had a question about, I'd go look on YouTube, see what other people think. But not everyone is right, you know, so it's like that wasn't smart. And then it was like I started thinking like everyone else on YouTube, they're like, all right, be that girl, and there's the whole like being really fit and doing workout and eating like super duper healthy and just like being super productive. And after that, it was like, for me, it was like, okay, if I didn't work out, if I didn't eat healthy enough, um if I wasn't productive enough, then I was like a failure almost. That's another thing I struggle with. I have a serious, huge fear of failure, and it is miserable. I don't know what to do about it. But it's just like, it was hard because like after that, it was like productivity determined if I was good enough. So it was like, all right, everything was suddenly a checkbox. It's like it was like, okay, like forget resting. If I did this, this, and this, and this, then I was okay. And I just think that's just so wrong, because yes, it is good to be productive. Yes, it's great to get things done, but rest is so important. Like being in the peace and quiet and resting, that is so key. And just having like your own room time, or like, you know, time to yourself, Bible time, like, you know, having this time to just like reflect and just enjoy life and do some of your hobbies and just like whatever. It's just so important. And I just like didn't love having that mindset. And I was just in summer and I get so bored over summer, so it kind of makes sense why I did struggle with that mindset. Now it's kind of like I'm gonna be a lot busier, so it's like, you know, any free time I have, it's like, oh yeah, hobbies are nice. Like, for example, this is so random, but I like yesterday night, not yesterday night, was it yesterday night? Was it yesterday? I think it was. But I found an old diamond painting kit kind of thing, and I decided to do it for no reason at all, even though it's like such tedious work. But I kind of enjoyed it actually, and I also like blasted music, which is so awesome. I love blasting music. But what was I talking about? I was talking about like idolizing and stuff. I used to struggle with idolizing like video games. I love playing video games, specifically Minecraft. And I used to play it so much to a point where I was like, okay, I literally would take, you know, like fasting and stuff. People like fast from food, which if I fasted from food, I don't think it would end very well. So I would fast from like screens and stuff. So I'd take like a month-long break from screens or something. So like I used to take some breaks from like video games or YouTube, which now it's kind of hard to take a break from those. But I'm trying to figure that out. But I think especially if you have like an idol or anything, something, cause sometimes like it's not like like sometimes it's not obvious if you have an idol. Like sometimes it's just like you realize you're putting it too much before God. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you have something that you're putting before God, then that's like not okay. So it's like I would notice it's like I would do screens more than I would want to do screens so much to a point where it was like I didn't really want to spend time with Jesus, which that would be like, oh, I need to maybe do like a screen break kind of thing, or whatever. Like everyone struggles with different things. Some people, you know, like everyone, like not everyone's gonna struggle with screens like I do, or other things, you know, like some people might struggle with other things. I don't know, but yeah, that was just like, I don't know. I'm just gonna go down like a rabbit hole right now. I feel like lately I've just been kind of struggling with like insecurity again, which I hate it so much, because it's like I look at myself and I look at other people and it's just like, or I like think of something I did and it's just like I hate myself for it so much. Like, and it's horrible because the more I tell myself stuff, the more I believe it. So the more I tell myself I hate myself, the more I'll hate myself. The more I tell myself I'm ugly, the more I'll think I'm ugly. You know, it's like that kind of thing where the more you tell yourself stuff, the more you'll believe it. And it's just like I kind of go in and out of phases of insecurity. But like lately I've just been so insecure and like worried about like what other people think. And I think part of that is me putting my worth in other people, trying to like please them and make sure I do everything right, which is another part of the fear of failure. I don't want to fail other people. And it's just like, I don't know what to do, because the only things, like the only way I know how to conquer fear is just to like do it. Like anxiety, really. Like just go do it. Like if you're afraid to do something that you know you should do, go do it. And that's a lot easier said than done. And it kind of like scares me. Like even the idea of just making a single mistake scares me so much. And it's like, I don't know why. I don't know why at all. And sometimes like people make comments to me about like why is this so hard for you? Why can't you just go talk to people or whatever? And it's like hard for me because it's like they don't understand, and it's just like even the smallest thing that may seem so insignificant to them might be just like such a big deal to me. Or like, you know, if I go talk to someone, or if I like raise my hand in a class, it's like that is so great for me at school. Like outside of school, not really that big of a deal, but in school it's like it's really hard for me too. And so it's like they might be like, how is this so hard for you? Why can't you just go do this? And I'm like, I don't know. And it's like really hard because it's like I don't know what to do about it. Like I just struggle with it, and I don't know how to stop, because I know lots of people do struggle with anxiety. I do think a big part of it could be like, I don't know what it could be for y'all. Sometimes social media or screens can affect your anxiety. You know, like some social media can cause comparison, which I did notice me doing a little while back. Some people really like struggle. Like also, the thing about anxiety is you just have to like make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because like there's some people who will be so anxious they don't even get that much sleep, they don't even eat that much. Like seriously, you need above like 7 hours of sleep, preferably above 8, but that might be a stretch. Like if you're getting less than that, like 6, okay, maybe I understand, but like if you're getting like 3 or 2 or 1, like no wonder you're anxious. Not everyone struggles with anxiety, but I do know a lot of people who do. I know a lot of people who also struggle with like insecurity and overthinking. I also seriously struggle with that so much. Like I'll literally take a single conversation and be like, what if when I go up to them I say this and everything goes horrible? Or what if when I go up to them they look at me like I'm weird? What if it's like, girl, hello, have you been telling it? Like, see, I feel like I'm like so ridiculous because I tell people like, this is how you stop being like, this is how you can be less insecure, be less whatever, and I'm like, okay, like if you want to like worry less, you can like do this and this and this, and it's like, oh, that's great, but when it comes to me, it's like, oh, actually, like no, it's like really hard, but it's a lot easier said than done to like stop overthinking and stuff. And then insecurity, it's just like so, and then like self-hatred, it's like so hard to stop, because the more you do it, the worse it'll get. And what I remember is like the first thing I'd recommend if you're struggling with that, please put like 100 sticky notes all over your mirror. Okay, maybe not 100, but a lot. All with like Bible verses or comforting words that you'll see every time you wake up and go brush your teeth. And I feel like that's a good first step, because then every time you're waking up, that's like what's entering your mind. And you definitely don't want to like idolize yourself, you know? But I definitely think the first step to get out of hating yourself is loving yourself. And then if you figure out you're loving yourself too much, then kind of work your way to the happy medium. But I feel like when it comes to insecurity, put some sticky notes first, because like seriously, it's helpful. And then it's like just like saying like Bible verses or comforting godly words over yourself is so helpful, because like the more you tell yourself things, the more you'll like believe it. Oh, also, I'm gonna talking about like everything. So um, if you're in school, let's just like talk about like tips and stuff maybe because like yeah. First of all, don't procrastinate because trust me, um, it comes with consequences. If you are struggling with procrastination, let me find this. I have like a paper here where I wrote things down. Here it is. If you're struggling with like procrastination and stuff, you can like there's like this like 10-minute rule or 5-minute rule. It really doesn't matter. Where people set a timer for like 5 to 10 minutes because getting started is the hardest part. So like once you see that timer, you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna work for 5 minutes. It's like tricking your brain because in reality, you aren't gonna work for 5 minutes. You're gonna work for more time, but it helps you get started. You can also like break down tasks, maybe make like a to-do list, what you're gonna do first, then to last. Adding in like some like rewards or breaks are super nice. I wouldn't do breaks longer than 5 minutes though, because then you might abandon your homework or whatever altogether. But like some rewards, like it could be just like if you're with a friend, it could be like I don't know, it could just be like something small, like maybe like doing a little doodle or going on a quick walk outside. Definitely recommend getting outside. That's seriously helpful. Like getting outside in the morning is super good. So like I'd get outside before school and maybe some like breaks. Definitely focus on one thing at a time. Like when you're doing your homework, focus on your homework and then like think of a reward. Like when you're doing your homework, think like, okay, when I'm done, I get to do this kind of thing. Even if it's small, like, okay, when I'm done, I get to have a cup of tea, something small. It doesn't matter. Just like think of something, or like when I'm done, I get to read a book. You get the point. And like celebrate like the small wins, like if that makes any sense. So for example, when you finish your math, it's like, oh my goodness, that's awesome. Like for example, when I was with my friend one time, she was really struggling with math, so I made like a list of all the problems she had to do. There was like about 50 math problems. I split them up into sections. We had 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So we had 10 problems in each section. After she finished 10 problems, she'd get a small reward, and so on. So she finishes the first 10 problems, she gets to like, I think we were at a coffee shop, so she like gets to drink a sip of her coffee or whatever. She does 10 more problems, she gets to do a small gratitude list, because seriously, gratitude is literally so important. Last year, I went through a really hard season, and I remember I'd go outside and sit on a swing, and I would sit there with my journal, and I'd listen to music out there. I wouldn't have like AirPods or anything. I think it was just like I was just listening to music outside and singing. I don't know how I was that brave, but I was just, and then I would like journal about like how I like about like everything in my brain, and then I also would do some gratitude, because seriously, focusing on the goodness that you have, that God has given you, even when it's hard, is so important. But so like gratitude, so that instead of focusing on like, oh my gosh, math is so horrible, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm doing it with a friend, or oh my goodness, I get a coffee, or oh my goodness, I can light a candle, or oh, I'm in my bed today, or whatever, or oh, it's raining outside. I don't know, but like some small gratitude just like helps like lighten it. But then so after that, it was like suddenly it didn't feel like she was doing 50 problems. It felt like she was doing like 10. It didn't feel as much. It felt like less overwhelming because she only had to focus on so much at a time, and then suddenly she was done with it, and it was like, oh my goodness. And so then I was doing like 1-minute breaks in between, and then once she was done, I gave her a 5-minute break to go outside and get sunlight, and it was just like, it made it go by so much quicker. So that's another thing. If you want to do homework with someone, that's always a good idea. I feel like, not always actually, now I think about it. Sometimes it's a good idea. Make sure you have someone who's actually going to help you get your homework done, not someone who's going to make you procrastinate more. But like, yeah, also just like, make sure you're getting sleep and stuff, like seriously. Those are like, if you're in school, how to not procrastinate, or even if you're outside of school, like if you don't do school, if you're procrastinating like cleaning or something, or getting something done, that like 10-minute rule or breaking down the tasks, so helpful. So helpful. My words are not working today. But I feel like when it comes to school, like there's just like, it can be kind of nerve-wracking, because I am also a perfectionist. And I'm actually not as much of a perfectionist as I used to be. I used to be super big perfectionist. I'd be like, everything must be perfect. Now I'm like, I've kind of realized that life is more perfect when it has imperfections. Says the person who's afraid of failure. Well, but I've kind of realized that just the imperfections have just made it so beautiful. Because like in artwork, I feel like even if there's something that the artist would think was imperfect, I would think that it enhanced the art. You know what I'm saying? Like, it almost made it more beautiful. So it's just kind of like, I used to struggle a lot with perfectionism. How did I stop? How did I get less? I don't know what happened. Somehow I don't care about that as much. But I deeply care about my grades. And I used to like be like, all right, I have to get above like a 90. I had to get above a 90, but in my head, I really had to get above a 97 because I wanted to have like A pluses, because I just wanted that. And if I didn't get like above a 97 or even above a 90, it was like, oh my gosh, the world is ending, which it's not. Every time I have to remind myself, your grades are not getting you into heaven. And then like my friend who sometimes she like would struggle with math and she might get a grade she was disappointed in, and I would tell her, one, do your grades get you into heaven? No, they don't. And two, are you really planning on being a mathematician? And obviously, who would want to become a mathematician or a math teacher? Except, well, I want to be a math teacher, but that's besides the point. She like would not want to be a math teacher or a mathematician. She probably would want to be more like a author, whatever. I don't know what she wants to be, but that's a lie. I do know what she wants to be. Kind of, sort of. What? Basically, I would be like, do you want to become a mathematician? I'd be like, do your grades get you in heaven? No, she would say, and then I would be like, are you going to become a mathematician or a math teacher one day? She'd be like, no, and I'm like, it's not going to matter in the future, honestly. When you get older, you're probably not even going to remember that grade. You're probably not even going to realize it like didn't even impact you at all in your life. It's really not going to matter. My friend, she says what she does is when she gets like worried or like overthinks stuff, she's like, her parents tell her, or like she told me that she would be like, is it going to matter in a day? Is it going to matter in a week? Is it going to matter in a month? Is it going to matter in a year? Because in reality, it most likely won't. Maybe it'll matter in a day, maybe a week, but in a year, probably not. Is everyone going to remember it in a day? Is everyone, like, if you did something like that you're annoyed with, humiliated about, no one's going to remember. In reality, everyone's focusing on themselves. I've honestly been super excited about school. Like, I feel like the best thing, like, lately I've been just, like, I feel like it's super good to just, like, be positive. As someone who is very, I not only have trust issues, but I also am very, unoptimistic, I think, like pessimistic. I'm also very pessimistic, and I always assume the worst about everything. It's like, oh, what if we win this thing? I'm like, nope, let's have low hopes. That's the way I work. That way, because if you have low hopes, the way I work is like, all right, have low hopes so that if it turns out good, then your hopes get raised. But if it turns out bad, you already expected that. Trust me, it's not a good idea, because at one time, I was like, I had low hopes about something. I think it was like some competition. I was like, we're not going to win. We're not going to do this. It's going to be horrible. And I was like just so sad. It was just like, me and my team were just sitting there all sad because we all like thought like, oh, we're going to win, we're going to lose. And we did end up winning. But I just remember us being also like pessimistic. We were like, oh, we're not going to win, blah, blah, blah. Let's just all have low hopes, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, it just kind of makes the moment less fun. But I feel like lately I've just been realizing, like, have fun with it. Like, embrace the cringiness, embrace the awkwardness. If you're going to a dance and you're an antisocial person, it's about who you're with that matters, not about, like if you don't want to go to the dance, bring some friends along, dance with your friends, you know? Just dance, even though no one else is dancing. Like, who cares? And then just, like, be grateful for the things. Like, be grateful there's a bird outside your window, that it's raining, that you have a bed to sleep on. You know, like, all of that kind of stuff. It's just, like, I've just noticed the importance of just being positive and being grateful or just being joyful even if you aren't necessarily happy. Like, even if you aren't feeling positive, just finding those little small gratitude moments is just so good. A lot of what I struggle with and have struggled with, I realized is like a journey almost. Like, for example, I used to be a super big perfectionist, and I still am a little bit of a perfectionist, but not nearly as much as I was. That was a journey to get through, and I used to be a seriously big worrier, and yes, I still am a pretty big worrier, but I don't worry nearly as much. I used to have, like, anger issues almost. I think it was actually, like, raging, so, like, fear, basically. But I used to have, like, really big issues with that. That was a journey. I don't struggle with that anymore. I still struggle with anxiety and comparison and insecurity and self-hatred and things like that, and overthinking. But it's all a journey. For example, this year I'm working on having more joy and being more, like, fearless, which I think is really just, like, overthinking less. Overthinking less. So, like, for me, it's like, obviously it's good to think things through, but, like, I think things through too much. And I feel like this year, since I'm wanting to grow outside of my comfort zone, it's going to be a journey for me to try not to give in to the anxiety of the situation, of all the what ifs and the overthinking, but to do what God would want me to do. Like, for example, if I'm scared to go give someone a compliment, like, go do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's all a journey. So don't be too hard on yourself now, because in, like, a year, you could be a totally different person. Like, the past years, I've been, like, such a different person. Like last year, or even the year before that, or the year before that, I look at myself, I remember, like, moments, and I'm like, that was me, like, whoa, hello. Like, in 6th grade, I used to be so awkward, like, unimaginably awkward. Like, I think it was around the 4th to 6th grade stage. It was like, if someone went up to me and asked me a question, I would just, like, freeze. Like, I would not answer them. I was so awkward. And then, like, last year, I really struggled with, like, I was insanely insecure, and my self-hatred was at, like, the max level. Like, I did make some sticky notes eventually. That did nothing at the moment, because it was a journey. At first, it was like, blah, 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 sticky notes, blah, blah, blah. I was still self-critical. I hated myself, and I would keep telling myself, I would be like, I'm ugly, I'm horrible, I'm blah, blah, blah. And then it almost became a situation where I'd tell other people that, so that I could almost get their praise, which I didn't notice at first. I think a lot of people sometimes can do that, where if they're insecure in themselves, they'll almost say it out loud, so that other people will be like, no, you're not whatever, you're not ugly or whatever, you know. It's like, and it makes you feel good, but then you still don't believe them. And I've noticed that is just not a great thing to do, because you're putting your worth in other people, and you're like looking for the satisfaction from what other people say, and you're not even believing them, because you need to be telling yourself, like, you know, like, those, like, Bible verses, like, literally, God loves you so much. Like, he made you, and you shouldn't, like, you know, idolize yourself, but you shouldn't hate yourself. You know, like, I'm going down a rabbit hole. I don't even know what I'm saying or what I've said at this point, but I feel like I just kind of wanted to have a chat with y'all this week, just so that you know that you are not alone in this. You're not the only one going through this pain that you may be going through, and God is with you. Trust me. If there's anything I learned last year, that is, I have a story, actually. So last year, I basically, you know, like the whole 99 sheep and one leaves, I was that one who left, basically. Like, last year, it was like, my Bible, other than church, it was just collecting dust. It was sitting there. I didn't touch it. I ignored God. I didn't even hear God. I didn't even care. I didn't want anything to do with him. I was angry at him, honestly. Last year was a super hard year, And I started listening to those voices in my mind, because there are times when I can hear like those voices where are like of insecurity and stuff, and I can just like hear them. And like last year I could hear them so clearly, and it was so horrible. And I was just like not going to God. And I remember this one time when I used to do I love volleyball so much, but last year volleyball was super hard for me because I have a fear of failure. And in volleyball is a game of mistakes. Every ball that drops is another point to the other team. So I remember just having a really hard time one game, and I remember telling God, like, if we win this game, I think I told him, what was it? I was like, Lord, if you win this game, I'll know that you're here with me. But we lost the game. And I remember at that moment thinking that, man, he must have really abandoned me. He must really hate me. I'm a goner. And I remember outside my window, I like took rocks and I spelled out with the rocks, "Where are you, God?" I believed he had deserted me. I remember like a couple of days later thinking that it was me who had deserted him, not him. I had realized that God had never left me. I was the one who left him. I was the one who was ignoring him. He was waiting for me to come and talk to him. And so then I remember a few days after that, I went back outside and I wrote, "I am here, God." Like, I think it was like "I am here," kind of like as if God was saying that. Because it was a reminder to myself, like, God was there. His presence, he'd always been there. He never left me at all. I just forgotten. After that, I realized that God doesn't leave you. He's with you all the way through it. Whatever you're going through, he is guiding you down the road. He knows what's to come. He has your whole future planned out. He is with you. He knows what's coming next. He will defend you. And anything hard that you go through, it really is hard, but it really is a building of your character, of your faith. Because I think there was a quote that said, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to realize that God is the rock at the bottom, which just really hit me because last year I really did hit rock bottom. But after that, I realized that God really was there and he really was providing, even after the horrible things that I had to go through. And this is just like, I just wanted to tell y'all, like, if you are going through a hard time, oh, there's a bug. If you're going through a hard time, just know that God is with you and he does have a plan. I will be praying for y'all, even though I don't really know who all of y'all are, except I probably honestly do know who most y'all are. But I will be praying for just like over y'all, because after going through that hard year last year, I just want you to know that you're not alone and God is with you. Seriously, you can go cry and yell and just talk to him. He just wants to be with you. He doesn't care if you're crying. I remember the amount of times I was yelling at God last year or pouring my thoughts into a notebook because I couldn't process anything correctly, or when I would pray, have like a prayer journal and I'd just like talk to him. And it was a really hard season, but talking to him, it's not like you get an answer from him, like a physical answer from him, but it really does help. And having like I had like my best friend and my parents just helped me get through it really like a lot, and that was so helpful. So just know you're not alone, honestly. And it may be hard, but the Lord will deliver you. He says, like, I think I actually have it in here. Where is it? Oh, nope, different one. But it's like the one that's, what's it called? The one that's like, if you face trials, you will face trials of any kind, blah, 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 something. But I don't know what it was, but it's like, you might face trials, but it will build your faith, you know? But that was just so random, but I hope that that helps at all. Also, I've been kind of struggling with motivation on my podcast because it's like, I have to go through and listen to every word I say and just like nitpick out all the like missed words or whatever. I'm a perfectionist, I know. I'm like, it needs to be perfect, and it's just like such tedious work, and I never really know what to say, and I feel like no one is listening. And I try to tell myself, it's like, I want to do this podcast just for God, and even if only one person hears the message, like even if one person is impacted by this, I feel like that's enough, you know? But it's kind of still hard. I lose motivation so much. Like this past week I was like, should I just like not make a video? But I was like, I need to make a video, and I don't know, I've been kind of struggling with motivation and knowing what video I should do next, and I've just been kind of struggling with that. I haven't even really, like, honestly, I think I haven't talked to God much about it either. I remember when I first made the podcast, I was like, so God, when should I make it? And I feel like now it's like, I haven't done that as much, which I might need to do. But if you have any like recommendations, because like not always am I gonna have the motivation to do things. Sometimes you just have to do it. And I want to keep doing this podcast, even if no one really sees it. But I was wondering if there's any kind of topic you would like me to talk about. I may not know all the words to say. I may not even know how to like solve the problem kind of thing. I may not know how to help you. But sometimes I feel like I just need to make a video just so that someone knows that they're not the only one, you know, like they're not alone. But I don't really know. But if you have like ideas or whatever, just like, yeah. I feel like I really just wanted to make this video to help people. Not only did I not have an idea of what to talk about, but I also thought that like maybe just having a chat about my struggles would help y'all realize that like if you struggle with the same thing, you know, it's like you're not the only one, which can be so comforting, honestly, because sometimes I'm like, I'm the only one who goes through this, I'm the only insecure girl, oh well, everything's horrible. Like, honestly, you're really not alone in this. I wanted to just make this video. Not only do I just like to have a little chat, but I just wanted y'all to know that I already said this. You're not the only one. And if you have any prayer requests, you can put them down below, or you can just say unknown prayer request, because you might not want to share that. But or like if it's just like for school, you know, sometimes you need prayer requests for that. Honestly, the amount of times I would pray about my math test last year was insane. It did kind of actually help though. But if there's anything you would like me to like talk about in the next podcast episode, or if you have any struggles with that you want me to talk about, like for example, if you struggle with something that I didn't really talk about, if you want to put that down in the comments, because maybe I can, because maybe I have experience with that, or I know how to like help or whatever. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, but I honestly think that's just gonna be it for this video. Just kind of like a little bit of a chat, kind of a wild chat, but you know what, that's all right. I feel like the top vote on the poll was insecurity and in worth. I think insecurity and worth was like the top one on the poll. That's what won for the next video. I don't really know what to say for that. I might try to see if I can get a guest speaker on here, maybe just like one of my friends or something. Because I don't really know what to say, because I struggle with insecurity so much that I don't know how to really help y'all so much. Because like, it's kind of like it's like a journey. It doesn't just, you're not gonna instantly wake up one day and it's like, I'm not insecure anymore. No, that's not really how it works. But like, if there's some kind of topic you would like me to talk about next week, if there's a video that you really need to hear, please comment down below. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. I just enjoyed talking to y'all about like total gibberish. And I'd love some ideas for the next video, which I've already said, but that's okay. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, so now I'm gonna just go watch something again, even though I've already done that way too much today and probably should stop. Okay, maybe I won't do that because that's too much watching stuff. I might go do like a diamond painting kit again. I don't know, but I'm gonna go do something now, and bye-bye. And sorry if this video comes out a little bit late. It might, but bye.